Hi, Heath. Hello, Owen Concord. Well, Owen, let's just say that there's a true connection between Dodge cars, besides the fact I owned those cars in those pictures. Those are all my cars. There, Owen's been knighted. Hello, Ian. Yes, the top right is a first year 1990 Dodge Viper, and it's one of only 5,000 that were actually made in the United States. The rest were made in Japan. It had the American engine and was made in America. And yeah, all these are cars I owned or currently own. The upper left is a 73 Charger. That was my baby. I owned that for a while, but I had to sell it about 5 years ago. I Things were happening and I had to sell it. God, is it 5 years ago or longer? 2000. Oh, 8 years ago. I think I sold it in 2012. So yeah, 8 years ago. That's how time flies. Well, hi, Simon. How are you? And yes, Simon, I will be off in time so that I can go over to Christopher's Facebook stream at 4. He said it's 9 p.m. your time, 2100 hours, which is 4 o'clock here. Playing one of my favorite 80s bands, XTC. So, hey, Kieran, how are you? Yeah, I want to make sure I'm off by 4 so I can go over to Christopher's Facebook live stream. Christopher, I don't know the reasons. I think he mentioned it in one of the streams I missed, but he's not doing Facebook anymore, or at least for the time being. Although he has come on as Mickey the Moocher, as opposed to Minnie the Moocher. So anyhow, if you're looking at this picture, the cars are upper left is a 1973 Dodge Charger SE. Second to last year, they made the Charger in this style. In 75, they changed it to a different body type. And then by 77, they'd canceled the Charger. The Charger has, let's go back. The most famous Charger is the one that was in Dukes of Hazzard, but also you see a bunch of what we call the E-frame Chargers in those Fast and Furious movies. Those are all 69 or 1970 Chargers. There's, well, a lot of generations of the Charger. The Charger first appeared in 1966, and that was the A-frame Charger. And that body style was 66 and 67. In 68, they changed it to what they called the E-frame, and that was 68, 69, and 70. Then they had Generation 2 A-frame, which was 71, 72. And then Generation 3 A-frame, which was 73, 74, 75. And then they had Generation 4 E-frame, which was 75, 76, 77, and then they canceled the Charger. Then they brought it back in the early 80s as some small subcompact car. But what killed the Charger was the most dominant car in American stock car racing. It is the muscle car. You can have your Mustang, you can have your Chevy Novas, but the Charger and its related Mopar friends dominated American cars. The Charger and its miniature version, the Challenger, were the dominant American stock cars in the 60s and 70s. Nobody else was close. They were the muscle car. When people talk about American muscle cars, it starts with the Charger and Challenger, and everybody else comes second. Then the upper right is a 1990 Dodge, not Viper, Stealth. I think I said Viper. That's a Stealth. It was built on the same frame as a Viper, but it was a lot less expensive. Basically, this was made to be an affordable version of the Viper, but they made it a 4-seater instead of a 2-seater, except it's really not a 4-seater. It's a 2.5-seater. You can fit 2 people and 1 person in the back if they sit sideways. But it does have 4 seats. But wow, did that car fly down the road. It didn't have the Viper engine. It didn't have the Viper suspension. It just had the Viper shell and main chassis, but none of the things that made a Viper a Viper. So that is a Stealth, a Dodge Stealth. And only about 5,000 were made in the United States, and the rest were made in Japan by Mitsubishi, which Chrysler, Dodge owned at the time. The bottom left, a couple of people asked, is a 2012 Dodge Dart. Now, Dodge Dart was also a famous race car in the 60s and 70s, and they brought it back in 2012. So my wife and I bought the first generation of it. That thing got 40 miles to the gallon and could haul butt on the expressway with a 4-cylinder engine. It was the best ever combination of mileage and horsepower, because Dodge cars are about horsepower. They never jumped on the gas mileage bandwagon. But that car did it, and it was a beautiful car. It won all kinds of international awards. It was being rated better than Hyundais and Hondas, but Dodge didn't. Chrysler was having financial troubles and eventually got bought out by Fiat, and Fiat tried to replace the Dodge Dart with their own little Ghia or whatever it's called here in America, so they canceled production of the Dart so they could push their own crap in America. And instead of promoting what was maybe the best Dodge vehicle that Dodge had created in the last 20 years in terms of a mixture of comfort, pizzazz, sharpness, great gas mileage, and still horsepower, they didn't push it, so they canceled it a couple of years ago, which aggravated me. And then on the right is my current ride. My son actually drives the Dodge Dart now. I sold it to him a few years ago. And then on the right is my 2014 Dodge Charger. So we have a 73 Charger and then a 2014 Charger. That is the famous car, if you've ever heard the story. Hey, Lee. Hey, Tim. How are you guys? But that is the car I currently drive when I drive a car. That is a big, it doesn't get good gas mileage. It's a monster, but it'll blow everything else off the road. That thing hauls butt. That is the famous car where I was telling the story earlier this week. We wanted a new car. We wanted to get out of the Dart because we're big people, and the Dart was a compact car, although it's got a lot of space for a compact car. But my wife wanted a big car that we could take friends out to eat with and blah, blah, instead of vans and our little compact. And so I test drove it and said, yeah, I really like it. And I said, but you should try it, see how you feel with it. And the dealership was on a highway or just off a highway, so she pulled from the dealership onto the highway and she hit the gas. And this car has a very famous engine in it called a Hemi, which, well, it just goes vroom, not zoom, vroom. And my wife, when she peeled herself out of the driver's seat as she's flying down the highway at 80 before she knew what happened, she looked at me smiling. And I looked at her and said, yeah. And she just looked back at me smiling again and said, vroom. Instead of zoom, which was her usual joke, she said, vroom. And I looked at her and I said, so I take it you want to buy this car? And she just had a sheepish smile on her face like, I really don't want to, but I really want to. And so we bought that car. So that's that was my other hobby. I always had one really cool car. We had the family car, and then I had my second car. But my pride and joy was that 73 Charger, but those days are gone. So anyhow, we got like 7 people here. I'm waiting for a couple of friends from Germany, which is why I went on. We were talking, and they said they'd like to see me do a live stream, and could I do one today? And I said, well, maybe later. But I know Christopher Sakura Densha has a Facebook live chat going on at 4 my time, which is 9 in the UK, so I'll be off before that. I accidentally went over his video the other day. I did not know. I did not catch an update. I don't like to broadcast at the same time friends are broadcasting. That's why I kind of sent Rachel a message saying, hey, I promised some friends I was going on 2:30. Not like I was going to steal people from Rachel. People are not going to leave Rachel and come to my channel. Or they shun it. She's got a lot more interesting stuff. But I don't like to do it. If I know somebody is broadcasting, I won't go at the same time. So anyhow, let's see what we got here today. I was hoping to show off a new camera today. Yes, on Facebook, Kieran. Sakura Densha on Facebook. So just like his original YouTube channel, it's a Facebook. I just noticed after I got off my live stream, on the other day, I forget if it was Wednesday or whatever, I noticed like half an hour, 40 minutes later that he had a stream. I know Simon was in there, and I felt really bad. I haven't even watched the stream. I just really don't like to do that to people I consider friends online. So anyhow, I have double and triple checked all the turnouts and points to make sure nothing is going to go stupid today, but you never know. So yeah, Leslie, hi there. I was talking cars for a bit. American cars. A collection of some of my personal... So if you didn't catch that, yeah, all those cars, I mean, 3 of them are clearly on the same driveway. You ever notice that, English speakers? We park on a driveway and drive on a parkway. What's up with that? We drive on a parkway and park on a driveway. I don't know if in the UK you call them driveways, but that's what we call it, the places where we park our cars at our houses. We call them driveways. And then we have roads we drive on called parkways. And if you park in a parkway, you get in trouble. And if you drive on a driveway, you get in trouble. But there it is. So anyhow, let's run some trains, and we'll see if my friends from Germany do show up. A couple of them had said they would be here. I won't speak German. I will speak English. Obwohl ich kann nicht alles garantieren. Vielleicht werde ich ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen, aber ja. Hey, David Cook, how are you? So anyhow, let's go back to some trains, and I guess let's get some trains running. The other big thing I wanted to do... Okay, what happened there? Oops. I have a camera I have to go turn around. I'll be with you shortly. I'll get the trains running, and then I'll go turn that one camera around. That way you got something to watch. So let's go to the 11-lane view, because the long-run camera. What did I do? Did somebody go back there, or did Perry the cat attack? All right, but anyhow, I am running my Railjet, so... we'll run a minute at a slower speed. I'll turn that sound off. I really don't know if the running sounds... Hi, Timber Surf. You just bought a car yesterday, as yours was written off last weekend. Written off as in car accident, or is that a phrase meaning it's been all paid off and now you could afford to get a new one? Ah, what the heck. I didn't mean to start him, but what the heck. There we go. We'll get the ICE3 running. And I am in paranoid mode. I am watching everybody go over the points to make sure they don't change lanes, even though I've checked them about 5 times today and have already run everybody a couple of laps to make sure there'd be no lane changes. Paranoia will destroy you, to quote the Kinks. And we'll get the ICE2 running. And I'm running a freight train again today. You guys should be honored and proud. I so rarely run freight trains, but I'm running freight trains. All right, that's got everybody running. So let me see, has anybody else come in real quick? Oh, by a hit and run driver. I am really sorry to hear that, Timber Surf. My daughter had that happen to her a couple years ago with her car. Fortunately, we had insurance and could get her but she had to get a new one. She had her car all paid off, and they only gave her so much money for it, but to replace it was more than the insurance gave her. Anyhow, I will be right back in a second. I'm going to go over and adjust this one camera, and I got to take my phone with me. Just so I get a sense of the right direction. How did this get turned around? Number 3 is capital, we're attaching it to. I gotta wait 30 seconds. Not that you guys can hear me anyhow. Okay, I think that's good enough. Let me see how it looks here. Yeah, we got a tree in the way, but that adds a little effect, doesn't it? Wow, Timber, you have my deepest sympathy, my most sincere and deepest sympathy. I had a really nice car that got totaled in an accident once. Not my nicest car, but a nice car. So when you have something you love and they can give you money for it, but they're not going to give you that car with all its, I don't know, I personify my cars. They all have their little idiosyncrasies and personalities. Yeah, I wanted to have a little surprise for my next broadcast. Unfortunately, I'm not. I was supposed to have a new webcam coming in to attach to my computer, And it's been in my city since Thursday night, and it's Saturday, and it's still not out for delivery. Thank you, Amazon and UPS. Somehow it's stuck in one of their stations here in Toledo. Ah, speaking of phones, right there. So, yeah, I think everything's looking good right now, knock on wood. Hey, Somerset Andy, nice to have you. Yeah, Heath, that's a good question. Um, Sometimes I like it when people do time lapse when they're doing, let's say, a basic job let's say even a rookie, like you show the basics, like here I'm going to do this once and then I'm going to speed it up and go time lapse, or like, hey, I'm taking this color and I'm going to paint this sidewalk like you did in your one video. Time lapse is fine with that, but if you're going to say, hey, here's how I'm going to wire this and how I'm going to connect it to this microchip, then I prefer regular speed. I want to be able, like I'm looking over your shoulder saying, okay, what are you doing here? So as I think Leslie said, it depends on the subject. And a special shout out, because I just got an email from my friend Herb in Canada today. If any of you are familiar with the Ghost of 2015 and the storyline, how I traded away my very first train, the train that you see in this video, that is the very first model train I bought for myself. I had one when I was a kid, but that train, whoops, yeah, that train, I saw it stop and thought my whole screen froze up, is now in Canada. I traded it away because I have an ICE3 with more bells and whistles, but it went to a gentleman named Herb, and Herb has been recovering from an accident. And in his most recent email he sent me, he said his wife records these videos and then they watch them in the evening and they really enjoy them. So I want to say hi to Herb and Nancy out there. This will probably be the video they don't watch. Herb, I really appreciate all the things you've done. And for those of you that were here on my last feed, we were talking about a green train. He said, by the way, Anthony, I've got some green cars if you want them. So I got to talk my wife into that one. I really want to buy an Alex train because Alex trains are green, but my wife hates them so much. She does not like riding on the Alex trains. They're so old and rickety, especially with the diesel locomotives that we rode last year. She hates them in real life, so she doesn't want me buying one for my layout, even though it officially fits the I can have it if I've ridden on it rule. Heath, maybe you think what you're doing is basic, but there's a lot of us that are 20 years away from technology that are watching you going like a Neanderthal looking at a Cro-Magnon man. Yeah, we're just a little, huh? Neanderthal looking at a Homo sapiens, huh? I don't know if that's how Neanderthals spoke back then, but that's how I'm making them sound. Huh? And that's why they went extinct. Actually, they didn't go extinct. They got interbred into modern humans. But that's a different story. So yeah, so Herb does not see the chat, but he does. I try to exchange emails with him once a week, but I think I've been lax. He emailed me I got it today. He might have emailed last night, but I don't check my emails about once or twice a day. And well, let's do some close-ups. What's looking at a good one? Well, we got the 11 lane is just going blank, but we got a couple of guys coming around. I do love that, as I always say, that background shot all the way back there. That's probably the most realistic shot I have. It's a little bit hazy and all that. Let's do an up the ramp, see what's coming. Here's that ICE2. So 2 or 3 of the cars on that ICE2 that just passed are from Herb. If you can tell the difference between ICE2 and an ICE3. Well, let me do the 11 lane here, because this is the ICE2. When you watch it going around, it has a much squarer face. It has a much squarer, boxier control cab face, whereas the ICE3 is about to come around. It looks more pointed and rocket spaceship-like. Also, the ICE3 cars are narrower, a little bit narrower, a little more aerodynamic. Let's go to Village View and see what's coming here. Somebody should be coming. A couple of guys should be coming around this way. There they go. So those 2 ICEs passing each other. Nice chance to see the 2 different ends. Well, again, sorry to hear that, Timber. Life takes priority. Right now I have no life, so I've been live streaming a lot. But I'm waiting for a couple of my German friends. And Germans are pünktlich. They're on time. They get mad if their trains are 2 minutes late. So it's like, where are they? I should be looking and seeing if anybody else is live feeding that I'm cutting into. Because this is on the weekdays it's not time. Weekend everybody would normally be out. Let me see what's going on in the world out there. Nope, nobody else that I know is live. Richard at Trains in the Attic has put up a new video. I'll have to watch that a little bit later today. So I'm not crossing anybody I know. I'm sure there's probably somebody out there I'm crossing. Well, that sounds good. So Leslie, I don't know that I asked her. If I did ask on one of your videos, how did you get into Canadian trains? Did you work in Canada, or you're originally from Canada, moved to England, or the UK? I shouldn't assume England. Moved to the UK, or started in the UK, went to Canada for a while, and came back to the UK. How'd you get into Canadian trains? Because you got a really cool setup. You do have a couple American trains too. You got that Amtrak going, but I consider it a Canadian layout. Hey, I just got a notice from YouTube that I am live. That's good to know. I'm glad to know YouTube is keeping up on me. Well, which loco did you try to get to 100 miles an hour, Kieran? Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Hi, Mark, a.k.a. Donegal Dad. Nice to see you. If you have not visited Mark's channel, Donegal Dad, he is building a really cool layout at... well, you work at a sort of a rail museum in Donegal, right? I'm going to get something wrong here. And you're building a layout, but you just released 2 videos showing how to make fencing, and you need to watch those videos. Those are the coolest jigs. He's got a setup for making fences that is absolutely brilliant. Tim Wells, he had videos on how to make fences, and Mark just posted one for making wired fences and the other one for wooden slat fences, and both are just brilliant. I don't know if this sounds patronizing or not, but you should be proud of those videos. Those were really cool. Hey, Lee. Well, Kieran, how did you fail to get a ICE 3 up to 100 miles per hour? How did you fail? Those do 100 miles per hour in their sleep. Here's the illogical statement of the day. They do 100 miles an hour standing still. I just got a text from one of my German friends. We're watching, just not chatting in the stream. So they're going to talk to me on they're going to talk to me on text messaging while they watch. Okay. You can come in the chat there, Marcus. You can come in the chat. Kept shouting at you because you were speeding. You must have been near a town or something in a station where you have to slow down. Man, one of the first times I rode an ICE, it was an ICE 2. No, the first time I rode an ICE 3. It was like, I want to say 2006. And we were going from Hamburg to Berlin. And we just go over and it was running 260 kilometers an hour. And briefly went up to 280 kilometers an hour. But we were going from Hamburg for Berlin in the middle of nowhere, somewhere in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Yeah, we were flying. I quickly had to do the math. Wait, what is 260 kilometers per hour in miles per hour? And it was like 150, 160, 170 miles an hour. Somerset Andy. The castle right in the middle of this, that is the famous fairy tale castle Neuschwanstein in the city of Hohenschwangau in Bavaria, Germany. Although most people will tell you go to the city of Füssen and then you take buses or hike up to the mountain, but technically it's in a town called Hohenschwangau. The drawing below is an artist rendering of based on 14th and 15th century prints of the castle in my German hometown of Delmenhorst. And again, when I say hometown, I wasn't born there. It's my adopted hometown. So there's two different castles there. One is the famous fairy tale castle, Neuschwanstein, the New Swan Rock. And then there is Delmenhorst, except the Delmenhorst castle doesn't exist anymore. It was torn down in the gradually between after the 30 Years' War, so the second half of the 16th century, and it was pretty much all gone by the 1800s. So whatever happened to the castle, all that's left is the park, because it was a military garrison. Basically, it was the Duke of Oldenburg. It was a outward fort castle. Hence, it's called a burg, B-U-R-G, which means military castle. And basically, it was an outlier, bumping the slowdown. but it was built by the Dukes of Oldenburg as a buffer castle in case either the Danes or the Archbishop of Bremen attacked. The Bishop of Bremen. I don't think he rose to Archbishop, because that's who his two biggest enemies were: the kings of Denmark and the bishops of Bremen. So it was built in the late 1200s and saw a couple of battles in the 1500s. During the Schmalkaldian Wars, it saw a couple of battles, but now it's all gone. Well, hi, Jackie. Well, yeah, Somerset Andy, I mean, Gothic really is the age of castles. You know, the Gothic architectural style and then Neo-Gothic of the 1800s. All based on that architectural style that came into Central Europe in the late 1200s after the first couple of Crusades. There was Romanesque, transitional, Gothic, Gothic transitional, and then Baroque. That's my architectural schooling coming to the front. Hey, we got 10 people here, although that's an all-time low. So obviously the love is wearing off. Well, let's see. What's going on? Let's do long run. Yeah. Got a couple guys coming through there. We'll see if Joyce comes down. Okay. My friend Matthias. I've got Marcus and Matthias who are watching, but not because they're watching on their TV and not on a computer, so they can't, or phone, so they can't see the chat, so they're not chatting. Fine. But Matthias wants to see what shirt I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Dutch national team jersey for football. That's what I'm wearing, Matthias. That's what I am wearing. Yes, I know. No stars on it like the German one. I know. I just decided to wear my Dutch one today. I haven't worn this in a couple of years because I've been too fat to wear it, and now I can wear it again. So I thought I'd wear it today. My Dutch national team shirt. Somerset, I thought every house in the UK was haunted. There goes one guy up the ramp, followed by the Railjet coming up the ramp. I want to get better focusing cameras. I try to adjust frame rate values and that, but they're well, actually that one is a Logitech, but they're still El Cheapos. It's all in the mind, you know. Do my George from Yellow Submarine. It's all in the mind. Okay, and there's my American friend Matt chatting with me, texting. He wants me to call him later today. All right, Matt, when I get off this, I will call you while I'm watching or chatting with Christopher, because I won't be on but another half hour or so. All right, let's see. Who do we want to speed up here? Get him going a little faster. But yes, running a freight train again. Running a freight train. Alright, so let's do the station. Let everybody see what's going on at the station. That bus has been parked there for weeks now, waiting to move. And then straight out to the village view. That is a cool view, I think. Other than all the mess in the background. Old posters I took down when I redid this basement a couple years ago, and they've been sitting there waiting for me to do something with them for a couple of years. My old, the green stuff in the back is my old wargaming modules. That we'd, except my cat, our cat, my son's cat, Perry, has clawed the heck out of the bottom of them since he moved in a year and a half ago. I need Martin to come in here. He's Dutch. He'd appreciate me wearing this shirt. Dave is going live tonight at 9:30. Christopher is going live at 9. Dave at 9:30. I did not know Dave was going live at 9:30, so I'm glad you told me. Which Dave? Dave Ramos, as in Merthyr Station. I tried to find my old Celtic linguistics book, Celtic language linguistics pronunciation book, so I could get the right way to pronounce that. Merthyr, something like that. I got old CG's place, Aberystwyth. 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 I saw somebody else with the name Aberystwyth on a live stream the other day, and I thought maybe he had changed his name, but nope, it was somebody else, so... Would be cool to shrink and have a walk through the town. Yeah, except there's no place to eat, there's no sidewalk, and a cat might jump on the table and eat you. But other than that, I'm all in favor of it. In my little world, even our freight trains are spotless. Ah, how nice for the Czech Railjet to come around at that time. I've got a new car. I've got like 6 things I got to mail off and get done, but I'm going to be putting lights in this train myself. It doesn't have lights. My ICE 2, I'm going to do that magnetic light bit. I've seen several people do it, including John at Piccadilly recently, and couple other places. Jack, was it Jack at Benton Road? No, one of the Jacks I think did it. Also did the you need a 2025 battery or a 2032 battery, one of the little sleeves, some wiring, and then you need some what we call bistable reed switches. You guys call them latching reed switches. We call them bistable. Or if you're the kid at the tech shop, bistable. You don't know what bistable is, do you? You mean bistable? No, bistable. So yeah, those of you who knew Sakura Densha Christopher, he shut down his YouTube pages But he was doing Facebook. So if you're somebody who used to do the model chat, I don't know if he wants me announcing it. Somebody would have to tell me. So Christopher is on in 33 minutes on Facebook, and then Dave at Merthyr. Somebody can put a link up. You're all knighted. You can do it. Dave at Merthyr Station 88D or whatever it is. He's on at 4:30. And then I've got my American friend Matt saying he wants me to call him a little bit later today, so I'll do that. If you're watching, Matt. All right, what's a view? Now, up the ramp's not going to work. Let's go to the village view. Right now, there's not a lot of people in that village. They must be all locked in their houses. So there's that Railjet. Is there anybody who needs a refresher course on what the layout looks like from all perspectives? So there goes that Railjet through the station. And once it leaves the station, it comes here. Ah, okay, sorry about that. But you have my favorite liveries out on the table right now. My all-time favorite livery is that now you don't see any of the liveries. But yeah, that Austrian Railjet, and then the ICE, that white with the red stripe, that little space age rocket white with the red stripe down the middle. I just love those. And then I do like the Czech Railjet as well. Yeah, maybe I'll slow these guys down just a bit, so even though it's not the P word, it's not the P word. Now that just doesn't look right when I slowed the Railjet down that far. I think the ICE 3 or ICE 2. That needs updated. Just slowing the one down. Just slowing the one down. That's a little better. Well, hello, Alan. Tim from FMR, Tim Wells, I think he's extended his break a week. From what I understand, it'll be next week before they come back on. Originally, I think he was planning on this week, but he's decided to extend it a week. And then they'll be back. I don't know if he's coming back on Wednesday or next Saturday. He's been building that, rebuilding the shed, which is a lot of work. And maybe he's been out getting some photography in too. Which, man, he has got a great eye. He is a fantastic photographer, isn't he? See, the thing is, I don't want his train-related videos. I want his, I want his castles and stars over the castle pictures. Hey, Hypno's Best, there you are. Oh, wow, we're jumping up to 17 all of a sudden. And again, remember, folks, you can post a link to your channel or a friend's channel, a channel you think deserves recognition. That's why I make everybody Knights of the Round Table or Knights of the U-shaped layout loop. Knights of the Train Table. Take your pick, I don't care. And just pop, everybody. Hello, Alan Peterson. Greetings from America to the wonderful country of Denmark. Sadly, I don't have a Danish shirt today. I'm wearing my Dutch national team shirt, and I've got German team shirts, and I've even got an England team shirt from back when my favorite player of all time played, Michael Owen. Hey, Andrew Turnridge, how nice to see you. So we are just, as usual, I'm just watching trains run in a circle and talking to anybody who wants to talk, or you can talk amongst yourselves. Quick, where is it? Let's go. We got a few guys coming in here. So we have got the Austrian Railjet coming around closest to you in that amazing magenta, black, and reddish orange livery. And there it goes around again in the dark corner. Juan, no, it's not possible. I know all the videos are in the German. The problem is I don't know. I know the basics of black detection, but I don't do it. So unfortunately, it would be, I've got a couple of friends that want me to do it because they want to do it on their layouts. And they want black detection, but I don't plan on doing black detection on my layout here. And so, I mean, I can take the German videos and tell you what they're saying and re-explain it. Except I got copyright issues trying to do that once. But I don't even have the materials. I'd have to buy it and do a separate layout. And so unfortunately, Juan, I've been asked that a lot. But as far as the S88 goes with black detection, I've seen the same videos you have, and I understand what they're doing. But as far as making a video, I told my one friend, if he wants to buy all the stuff and bring it here, I will do a demo and show how to do it, because I understand the basics of it, at least the way Märklin does it. But it's a lot of wiring that I don't like to do. That's the reason I do what I do. I don't like wiring, and this whole system is designed to do as little wiring as possible. So I apologize for that. It will not be any time soon that I do a video on how to do the S88 with black detection. I feel guilty every time I tell that to somebody. Let's see. Yeah, the thing is, Alan, block detection, although it's a general concept, with this Miraklin system and the Central Station 3 and the S88 input, it's a little different. Not a lot, but it is a little different where Charlie Bishop's videos would help, but in the end would not explain how to work the S88 with the Miraklin input. Hey, Chris, how are you? I don't know why you're saying hi to Lulu, Chris. She just texted me and says she's not coming on. And that's the thing. I have been asked at least 20 times to do a video on it, and it sounds dismissive, but I keep saying it's above my pay grade. And the problem is all the instruction videos for the Miraklin system are in German, and I speak German, so I get it, but it's something I'm not going to do with my layout. And so I never looked into pursuing it any further, but I've seen the videos and I know what they're doing, but I'd have to invest some money in the special track and all this other stuff to set it up, and I just not planning on it in the future. And I feel guilty every time I say that. Because half my subscribers are people that are into the Miraklin. Over half my subscribers are people into the Miraklin. And now that they've seen what I've done, they want to go the next step. And I'm not up to the next step. They're with me now. They've gotten into Miraklin. They've caught up with me. And now they're going forward. And I'm stuck in my little cement pond with cement shoes on. Like the men from the association tried to get rid of me. There's the two Railjets, not side by side, but viewing each other. I gotta keep tabs on the time here. I got about 20 minutes. See my nice, neat, clean freight train coming around again. Oh, Andrew Turnage. I saw David Jones from Cottesmore got one of those. Was it a Class 66 as well? With the London Underground map. Those are so cool looking. The livery, I don't care what locomotive you'd put it on. The livery is just kind of cool. There go my 3 favorite trains right there. My 3 favorite trains. The Czech Railjet, the Austrian Railjet, and the German ICE right between them. Well, let's go look at the village. I keep catching it when the 2 ICEs pass each other. All right, let's go see what's happening at the station. Well, the ICE 3's going through. Yeah, those London Undergrounds are just cool looking, to say the least. Fading into the distance. Oh, that is so true, Heath. I think, unless you grow up in model railway, but if you're like me, where you were, again, same old story, people. I was 51 when I bought my first model train, turned 52 very quickly thereafter. It was basically for my 52nd birthday that I got my first train. And to not know anything, that 45-year gap from 1970 to 2015, how trains had changed. Now, the basics really hadn't changed, but I was into German AC, 3-rail, digital, before I knew what the heck I was doing. And to try to get information, yes, you get the two most horrid answers. You get Google it, and it's like, I already Googled it, sir. That's why I'm here asking. And then you get 20 people telling you 20 different answers. And I learned by watching physically somebody do something. That's how I learned. I learned to do house wiring and electrical and plumbing from my father. My dad had a repair in the house. He said, come here, boy, you're going to learn how to do this so that you don't have to pay somebody else to do it. And then I got schooled in codes, building codes, plumbing codes. But that is how I learned. Even watching a video is hard for me. I literally need somebody in 3D here next to me saying, here's what you do, solder here exactly on this point. Videos are better than nothing. They're definitely better than reading. But I learned by sitting next to somebody who knows what they're doing and seeing what they're doing. Yeah. Because and when I watch a video, I like watching people fix them, but in the end, everybody that's here, you all, I mean, there's a reason I'm subscribed and still subscribed to your channels, because you do great videos. I love to watch Alan's videos, whether he's doing a running session or having a laughing fit or showing what he's doing. And I don't say somebody's better than the other. Alan's got a great layout. I love to watch his trains. I love people that are running 5 different trains. Chris here runs his different trains on a sitting room or dining room or something table, and I love to watch that. He puts up his new purple locomotive and runs it, and I'm ignoring the chat because I'm watching the locomotive go around. Oh yeah, Mark. I learned to cuss from my dad, and cuss words in my house were called daddy words. If one of my kids cussed, the other kid would come running upstairs. Mom, Dad, Lizzie said a daddy word. And the other ones went up, no, I didn't. I said fudge. And the funniest one was one time my wife got upset while cooking something. And she did she's not here so I can get away with it. She did oh shit, I dropped the pot roast, And all 3 kids were just standing there. Oh, Mommy said a daddy word. Oh. But yeah, I do have to watch online. I mean, I can get away with a few blue words, but yeah, if you take me off of here and I'm away from my job and yeah, I cuss like a sailor, as they say. No offense, Alan. Yes, Hover Motion was one of the first channels I joined, Alan. Jim is awesome. I probably talked to Jim more than anybody outside of small select people that are here now. But I talk to Jim all the time, both on his videos and off, and occasionally he does come into my chats. I love Jim. Jim's got a special layout, and Jim and I connect because he does the DC version of Miracle and Tricks trains, but he knows the German trains. I do the German trains. And yeah, I love Jim at Hover Motion. I would pay to, when I come to the UK in 2022, I would pay to spend a day at his house. And he'd probably charge me too. And there's also, if you know the full story of Jim at Hover Motion, and I'm not going to get into it, there is an amazing, beautiful story behind that layout and a lot of things connected to it. Jim, if you're haunting in the background, hi there. Hi, Dave at Merthyr Central. I will be off at 4 because I'm going to go over to somebody else's Facebook chat because I missed his last one and I feel bad and I don't want to cross over it. So I'm only going to be on another 15 minutes. So definitely yours as well. But yeah, so to answer that question, yeah, I definitely know Jim at Hover Motion. Awesome. But you know, I've already praised your channel, Alan, and Heath has got a great channel. And the thing about Heath is he puts up his stuff when he's doing this very, what I consider, advanced digital work. And of course, Timber Surf, who was here, maybe he still is, Timber Surf does advanced digital stuff. And if that's where you want to go, you watch their channels. But Heath puts his stuff up there and says, here's where I effed up. I screwed this up. I don't know that I would do that in a video. It happened live last weekend, and you notice I took it down and burned it. I did a boo-boo online, a massive boo-boo. And I took that live stream down and burned it. Yes, there's a lot of people I'd like to meet. So yes, my wife and I are planning, if the U.S. hasn't blown itself up by then, my wife and I are planning, oops, that was kind of political, I don't want to go there. But my wife and I, we were doing Germany this year and then the UK next year, 2021. But because all our travel plans got canceled, we pushed everything back a year. So next year we're doing Germany again, and then going to the UK for 4 weeks in 2022. I don't know if that'll be my last trip or not. I hope not, but time will tell. It won't be my last trip. It just, we've tried to go every year, but there seems to be something that interferes a year. Oh, well, let's see. Nobody's here. What's happening? Let's go Village View. The ICE2 coming around. The IC. Once again, how do I time that so well? Let's get you the ICE3 going around, going the other way. Oh, I know, but I do so little right. I don't like to share the wrong. You know, these live streams are my favorite thing because people seem to be happy watching my trains go around, and I get to talk to people, which is one of the reasons I went on YouTube. Was there are no train people around me. My two closest friends live well over an hour away, and because of the virus, we haven't been able to see each other since November. And they're the two people I can get my geek on with. They come down. My friend Steve does German Miracle trains like I do, but he doesn't have a. I hope he doesn't take it the wrong way. He doesn't have a layout. He has a run. He has a run that takes at least 12 minutes for a train to complete one circuit on his run in his house, because he's got this gigantic basement. And it's just loops and loops and multiple levels, and his trains just go all over. But he does Miraklin. And then my friend Matt is just a train guy. And we were members, they're still members of a club that I joined and quit. But they're good guys, and we occasionally hang out. And Steve, if you're listening, Steve will watch my videos and immediately point out, Anthony, you need to clean your track over here, and you need to work on this, you need to work on this here. He spots everything. The man is eagle-eyed. He knows everything that's wrong, and he sees it, and, well, he lets me know. He'll chime in on Facebook while this is going to say, Anthony, your one train over there is running a little rough. You need to check this. And he's always right. Which, I'm glad. No, again, everybody out there's got their world and their issues, and some people are about running trains. I mean, you look at Sam's trains, and he's just got his big couple of loops on the floor, and he's got a little bashed up kit because he's just about running the trains and loving the trains, and layout and scenery's not his biggest thing. That's kind of where I am. I'm more about how many trains can I run at the same time than getting things prototypical. But I do have the one section, the village view, that I am slowly working on, but I'm waiting to buy a 3D printer now because I can't custom scratch build anymore, and I have to make very specific buildings because I'm doing an exact replica of this little town in Germany that I've lived in off and on for the last 17 years when I've been over there. That's dear to my heart. If I had been doing what I did with Delmenhorst in Cardiff, Wales, I would be building Cardiff over here instead. But it's Delmenhorst in Germany that got my love, and so to honor the years I spent in Delmenhorst with the student exchange program, I'm building a section of Delmenhorst here. It just takes a long time. It took me 2 years to build this train station, but I can't build anymore. People have a lot of worse things than me, but unfortunately I can't build anymore. I sit down and try to wire or solder micro wiring. I can barely work on key things in the house. That's why I'm rushing to get my wife's bedroom done. I have rebuilt this entire house myself with my wife and kids helping, but I can't. The minute I start using tools, the minute I start doing fine detail work, the hands just break out into massive shakes, and I get very frustrated and angry because I can't do it. That bus station down there, that is the last. I got that done. I got it wired. I finished that up before Christmas. And that's it. I'm done. That is my last custom scratch built. From now on, it's either got to be a kit or a 3D build. It takes me long enough to build something anyhow, and now I can't. It's over. The nerve damage is just too hard to work with. Now let's go to the all view because they are scattered all over right now, aren't they? There you go, all view. Exactly, Andrew. That's what it's about. Okay, Simon, I'll be over there in a couple of minutes. I am going to start winding down here. Maybe if my stupid 4K webcam arrives, I'll go back on Monday, depending on who's on. I know Jenny's on and other people are on, but I always find an hour or two. But yeah, it was just great to run some trains again, and I always try to change a couple of trains around. So once again, some of you saw me doing something before I started live streaming, you never see me do. I'm running freight train. But outside my IC1 now, if you've watched most of my streams, you've seen all my trains. I have 12 trains. Or DMUs. I mean, I just call them all trains. I'm not educated enough to distinguish between EMU and DMU and train and locomotive. They're trains. All right. Well, anyhow, gentlemen, so that I've got time to do a couple of things before I go elsewhere, I'm going to shut this down. It was, for me, a quickie, only about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. But for those of you who did show up, and my friends Matt and Marcus, Matthias and Marcus, I've got Matthew, the American friend, as well. You guys that are still tuning in and talking to me on Facebook or texting me instead, thanks for stopping in as well. But hey, everybody, I want to wish all of you in the UK a good evening. The rest of you in America, I want to wish you a good rest of your afternoon and then evening. I will see everybody later and tell you all, as I always like to say, Zoom, but also happy trains. See you later.